Good afternoon. Dwayne here, Dry Creek Wrangler School. And it's only been about 4 days since I posted the last video. So this one's kind of soon, but I wanted to do a nice little video for me. All right, the last couple videos have been just a little too much drama, little too much. I'm just kind of dramaed out. So I just want to do a fun video tonight for me. And if you like it and it helps you, good. But I'm going to do this one with just a nice, fun little video, okay? Just because it's going to make me feel better. We, like all of United States, we're coming out of this several days of bad freeze that we've had. I couldn't get any of my trucks to start. This flatbed Ram I got out here is from Tennessee. Turns out it didn't have a block heater in it, so when it hit 40 below and 30 below, it wouldn't start. And so we got to go tomorrow and buy a trailer load of hay and haul it, and I need that truck. So I spent part of the day out there laying on the ground, rolling around underneath, trying to find the block heater cord, and then I finally figured out it didn't have one, and getting the other vehicles started, and I finally got everything started, and so we're back on track again. But it was really cold, and that's why the bucket hat. Handful of you guys are a little confused right now because I had did a video just like this just a few minutes ago and uploaded it, but we wound up with a technical problem, and I had to delete it and start over again. So we're starting all over again. So no, y'all hadn't lost your mind. Dwayne just did one of his technical things that just didn't work. So we're sitting out here in the tack shed, got a good fire going in the wood stove, got a good pipe. The pipe is an old Morris, and although I've done a lot of research, I can't find anything about old Morris. It was an estate pipe when I bought it, and I bought it the day my first grandbaby was born. So it's kind of special. A lot of my pipes they're connected to memories and connected to things, and this is one of them. And right now I've got Cornell and Dill Pegasus in it. That's what I'm smoking. Okay, so anyhow, that gives something for YouTube to get all excited about, start blocking stuff out. But anyhow, I want to do a book recommendation. I want to do another one. That last one was received pretty good, and I don't think we can overstate how important good literature is. And to go a step further, good literature for children today. Children today they have access to so much other than books, and that catches their attention, like videos and TikToks and movies and stuff like that. And I don't think enough children are introduced to good books today, not to mention adults. And so every once in a while, I want to kind of encourage that. And I want to encourage you to try out this book tonight. Let's see if I can get this lit. The book is, y'all don't mind if I do this, do you? You don't mind a book review? It's A Tour of the Prairies by Washington Irving. Now, when my children were all still at home, there was a lot of times we'd eat, and we did something that a lot of families don't do today, which I think is a shame that's been lost. All our meals were sat around the table together, and we ate as a family. And a lot of times when we were done eating, I would pull out a book and I would read a chapter a night of a book to the kids. This is one of the books that I read to them. And I would read, I've got a collection in one volume of all the writings of Rudyard Kipling. Well, I say all the writings, a few of his poetry and all of his novels and stuff. And so I would read that. Jungle Book, which, by the way, I've mentioned before in my recommendation of book. The Jungle Book, the original Jungle Book, looks absolutely nothing like the nonsense that Disney put out. The real book is just It's incredible. But I would read that. Ricky Tikki Tavi, Puck of Pook's Hill. That book is, for me, is just incredibly entertaining. Puck of Pook's Hill. But I would read that. A lot of other books. But this one here, Washington Irving was a writer and a man of letters back in the early 1800s. And in 1823 or 1832, you can look it up if it's important to you. He came back to the U.S. from studying abroad. He'd been like 7 years, I think, over in Europe. And he wanted to reconnect with his home. And so what he did was he did a tour. And I remember we're doing the early 1800s here. So it's wagons and horses and mules. And they did a camping trip tour from Arkansas out through Oklahoma, which was the Indian territories at that time. And so he wrote about it. It's not a history book. It's not a boring read like somebody's journal entries or something. It's a very, very fascinating book. It's a very important book today. It's a very relevant book today if you have any interest in the history of this country and how things were. So anyhow, I want to recommend it. Now, this book has, in the front cover, it says, "Happy 47th birthday, Dad. We love you so much. Love from Shelby Joe, Virginia, and Victoria." Now, I think, and I could be wrong, I might get in trouble over this, but I think the twins, Virginia and Victoria, are 21 today. They're 21 right now. So they would have been about 11 years old when they went in together with their older sister and got this leather-bound edition of this book for their dad for his birthday. I was 47, and I'll be 57 in April, so that was 10 years ago. That's how important a book this is in our family. I wanted to give you another choice to read. And I want to encourage you, parents, read to your children. Okay? Read to them. Reading is being lost. And there's an advantage to reading to your children. Now there are a lot of parents, myself included, can't get this thing to stay lit. My problem is I get to flapping my gums and I get to talking and it goes out. But especially small children, we don't take the opportunities that we would probably prefer to sit down and talk to our children and instill values. And some of those values are hard to instill at a young age. It's hard for them to understand the concept. But if you'll find good books that have those values integrated throughout very interesting stories and read to your children, you can get across what you want to get across to your children in a way that they can. And that seed is sown. It'll never go away. That seed is always sown. And the other thing is, a lot of times, especially dads, we're not going to sit down and we might say, I'm probably missing something, but as a grown, 32-year-old pipe fitter, I'm not going to come in from work and sit down in my easy chair and read The Jungle Book by Rudyard Kipling. But if we'll read it to our children, then we can save face and we can still get all of the enjoyment and the fascination and the entertainment from these books. Now, it might be a little difficult when you first start out if your child has had a steady diet of video of whatever form. Books are a different process. But if you pick really entertaining stories that's interesting to them and start reading to them, you can build a love for that. Now, you don't want to overdo it. So you take a book like The Jungle Book depending on the age of your children. There were some chapters in that book that I would get about halfway through, and it would get a little bit laborious at some point. And depending on the ages of the children, they would start getting a little fidgety, a little restless, and I knew I was fixing to lose them. So I'd find a good quitting point, and then I'd come back and pick up and keep going. And because you don't want it to become work, you want it to be fun. You want to leave them wanting more. The books that I mentioned are good. The Little Britches series by Ralph Moody, those were a big hit with the kids. If you got smaller kids, I mean, you can start out, you want an easy read, and smaller kids start, with the Little House on the Prairie series. There's just, I mean, the list is endless, okay? And you can mix it and match it to where you live, to your children's age, to their interest, to their attention span. But it's a worthwhile endeavor. It's one of the major memories that my kids have at home. Growing up was when we would sit down of an evening and then read as a family a very interesting story. And my kids, for the most part, are all big readers, okay? And it expands the mind. So I just wanted to encourage you in that tonight, and just from one old parent to a young parent, give you a little bit of hope, give you a little bit of a thought maybe you hadn't thought of. And for the guys and gals, all right, for the folks who want to sit around and looking for good older books. And some of those older books, they can be dry and they can be a little hard to read. This one's not. This is a good, fun read. And it's reality. I mean, it's actually reality about what happened, okay? So anyhow, I just wanted to pass that along to you and encourage you. And I just wanted a nice little short, no stress video tonight to kind of relax me a little bit. And so here it is. All right. Hope you like it. Let me know what you think. Okay. Give me your feedback. If you like these book recommendations, I'll do another one every once in a while. But none of us need our time wasted. I don't need to get on here and spend time doing something that nobody's finding helpful, nobody's interested in, nobody wants. So in the comments, let me know what you think. If you've read it and you like it, if you hadn't read it and you go and you get it and you read it, and you're like, man, Dwayne, that was pretty good. Or, man, Dwayne, that was just, I had to work through that one and I finally put it up. Well, let me know. That's okay too. If you read to your kids, if you're starting to read to your kids, let me know about that. Okay? So in the meantime, stay warm, guys, and stay logical, stay reasonable, be safe, have fun, and stay curious. And we'll catch you guys next time.